If you're going to Italy in March and thinking about adding a day trip to Capri, I need to level with you. Because March Capri is not the glossy Aperol Spritz celebrity sighting version you see all over Instagram. We expected a calm island day from Sorrento. Maybe some sunshine, maybe that famous Blue Grotto. Instead, we got fog, rough seas, 921 ancient steps in the rain, and half the luxury shops still closed for the season. And at one point, I genuinely wondered, do we mess this up? But here's what I want to show you. What actually changes in March? What's worth doing anyway? What I would absolutely adjust, and who should maybe wait until summer. Because if you're planning Italy right now, you deserve the honest version. Let's start with the ferry, because whether you're coming from Sorrento or Naples, that crossing sets the tone for your entire Capri day. We were staying in Sorrento, so that's the route you'll see here, but the same timing and planning tips apply from Naples as well. We booked Carimar online, about €21 round trip, but your online confirmation is not your boarding pass. You still need to pick up a physical ticket in Sorrento before boarding. Arrive about 20 minutes early. The crossing itself takes 20 to 30 minutes. If you can, sit on the left side leaving Sorrento. You'll get the best coastal views as the mainland pulls away. In March, I prefer the traditional ferry over the hydrofoil. It feels steadier, and that matters if the sea picks up. When you arrive, you'll step off at Marina Grande, the main port of Capri. This is where ferries arrive and boat tours depart. Our first stop was Bar Il Gabbiano. They have separate his and hers bathrooms, and they are very small. That's your heads up if you're wearing layers. But a hot cappuccino overlooking Marina Grande? Always worth it. We visited Capri on March 29th, and it rained all day. Temperatures in the 50s, mist along the cliffs. In March, rain is common. It makes the stone steps slick, it can make the sea rough, and sometimes it replaces sweeping views with fog. But if you plan for that, it's manageable. And the mist gives Capri a quieter, softer feel. And if you're planning spring travel to Italy, I've linked the rain jackets we wore on this trip below. Because this day would have been miserable without the right layers. If the Blue Grotto is non-negotiable for you, March may not be the right month. Access depends entirely on sea conditions, and in shoulder season, closures are common. And it's not just the grotto. If your Capri vision includes high-end shopping along the designer boutiques, celebrity spotting at Capri's main square, beach clubs in full swing, or swimming in that bright turquoise water, March isn't that version of Capri. Many of the luxury shops are still closed, the beach clubs aren't operating, and the sea is usually too cold and sometimes too rough for swimming. But if you care more about fewer crowds, cooler temperatures, dramatic coastal views, and a quieter island atmosphere, March can feel intimate, almost cinematic. It's Capri without the performance. One of the best ways to see Capri quickly is a 1-hour island boat tour departing from Marina Grande. We chose Laser Capri without guaranteed Blue Grotto entry. We passed the Scunizzo statue, Monte Solaro, Grotta Rosa, the Grotta Bianca,
So look how many stalactites are.
Casa Malaparte and the Faraglione. As we rounded Punta Carina, the water grew rough. The boat lifted and dropped with the swell. I was very glad I packed adjustable motion sickness bands. They earned their place that day.
After the lighthouse of Genoa.
The Blue Grotto was closed due to waves, and in March, that's pretty common.
Today the grotto is going to remain closed all day.
When we returned to Marina Grande, we were damp, windblown, and smiling. And before heading anywhere else, we went straight back to Bar Il Gabbiano. They practically had our drinks ready. The barista remembered exactly what we'd ordered earlier and called it out as we walked in. It's a small thing, but on a rainy island morning, it made us feel like we belonged. If I were planning this again in March, there are a few things I'd change. First, I would not purchase a round-trip ferry ticket in advance. We had bought round-trip tickets from Sorrento to Capri, and by mid-afternoon, with the rain and rough water, we were ready to head back earlier than planned. So we ended up purchasing a second one-way ticket on a different carrier just to get back to Sorrento sooner. In shoulder season, weather drives your day. One-way tickets give you freedom. Second, I would pack plastic bags for my socks. My rain jacket worked, my layers worked, but by the end of the day, my feet were soaked. And on an island as vertical as Capri, wet feet are what you remember. Third, I would pack protein-based gluten-free snacks. In March, restaurants are more limited, and when you're climbing 921 steps on the Scala Fenicia, a pastry isn't enough. The island is far more hilly than I expected, especially walking up to Anacapri. A little protein would have gone a long way. From Marina Grande, we headed up to Anacapri. You can take a bus, but we chose the historic route, the Scala Fenicia. These 921 stone steps connect the port to Anacapri. They were carved by the ancient Greeks between the 7th and 6th century BC. And until 1874, this was the only way up. So climbing it isn't just exercise. It's walking the original path. As you climb, the harbor grows smaller behind you. And when you reach the top, you are officially in Anacapri. This is the higher, quieter village on Capri. If you do it, give yourself about an hour. And in rain, walk up, not down. Somewhere along the way, you stop thinking about the number. From the top of the Scala Fenicia, you're already in Anacapri, and from there, it's just a short walk to the Monte Solaro Chairlift, near Piazza Vittorio. This chairlift is the aerial cableway connecting Anacapri to the highest point on Capri. It takes about 13 minutes. But what makes it unforgettable is that you sit alone. We had just climbed 921 ancient steps, and earlier that morning, our boat tour had taken us past Monte Solaro from the sea. So now, instead of looking up at it, we were rising into it. The ride was completely quiet. All I could hear was the soft hum of the cable moving above me and the gentle tapping of rain on my jacket. No wind, no crowds, just space. For 13 minutes, you're suspended above the rooftops of Anacapri, above the terraced hillsides, above everything. On a clear day, you can see Vesuvius, Ischia, and the Faraglione. On our day, we saw mist. And somehow, that didn't feel like a loss. When we reached the top, completely wrapped in fog, it wasn't about the view anymore. It was about the fact that we were here. And in that moment, I knew, even in March, this was worth it. sometimes the memory matters more than the panorama. There is a small cafe at the top, and bathrooms are available for a small fee. After 921 steps, that felt reasonable. Lunch was at Casa Orlandi, still in Anacapri, just a short walk from the Monte Solaro chairlift. And this is worth noting, we did not have reservations. In March, that's often possible. In peak summer, I wouldn't count on it. There's indoor and outdoor seating, and on a rainy day, that warm interior felt like a gift. And if you're visiting Capri, put this on your list. Order the lemon spritz, sometimes called a limoncello spritz, served inside one of Capri's oversized lemons. This is one of those iconic Amalfi Coast drinks you assume is staged for photos, but it's not. They hollow out the lemon, fill it, and you drink straight from the fruit. It's bright, crisp, refreshing in that unmistakable Southern Italy way. And holding that massive lemon in both hands after a wet, windy morning, that's when Capri finally shows up. They offer gluten-free options, which I always appreciate, especially when restaurants are sparsely open in shoulder season. Yes, prices are higher than mainland Italy. That's typical for Capri. But warm pizza, a lemon spritz served inside the lemon itself, and a dry place to sit, that's not just lunch. That's a Capri memory. After lunch, we headed from Anacapri down to Capri town, home to the designer storefronts. We took one of Capri's open-air taxis. In March, many of the luxury shops were still closed. It felt quieter than we expected. When it was time to leave, we took the funicular from Capri town down to Marina Grande. It takes just a few minutes and costs only a few euros. And after a day like this, it's the easy way back to the ferry. So was Capri worth it in March? There was no postcard views. We didn't enter the Blue Grotto. The sea was too rough for boats that day, and sunshine never showed up. But something shifted instead. The island felt quieter. The 921 ancient steps felt almost personal. A barista at Marina Grande recognized us when we walked back in from the rain. And Monte Solaro, wrapped in mist, gave us 13 completely silent minutes suspended above the island. And for the way we travel, slower, flexible, not chasing perfect conditions, that mattered. So is Capri worth it in March? It depends what you're coming for. If your vision includes swimming, open designer boutiques, and guaranteed Blue Grotto access, wait for summer. But if you want fewer crowds, cooler air, and moments that feel unfiltered, March has its own kind of magic. If rain was in the forecast for your trip, would you reschedule? Or would you lean into it?